There you go. All all right, what's up, Facebook? Happy Sunday, and sorry about like not broadcasting last weekend just because I had some family thing going on, but now I'm back. But now I'm here with my friend Trina Eddy, and Trina, do you want to introduce yourself? Like, what's your business name? What do you do, and where you're at?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Trina Eddy, and I'm up in Washington State, about an hour north of Seattle. We have a family business called Canine Experience. Um, it's my two sisters and my daughter and I that mainly run it. We have one non-family employee. My mom actually started it back in like 1995, so we've been in business for a long time.
Cool. And then like do you guys specialize in anything, or is it just like all around like training, like obedience and behavior mod, or just like anything specific?
Yeah, we work a lot with just pet owners. Basic obedience, of course, but more often than not, they come to you when they have a problem. So some behavior modification type stuff, as well as just relationship building, with the pet and the owner. Um, and then we do some specialty training. We do some service dog training. One of the things we really specialize in is diabetic alert dogs, as well as just some other service dog tasks as well. It just kind of depends. If a person comes to us and we feel comfortable training the tasks and with the whole situation, then we'll help them. We kind of work hand in hand with people to help them train their own dogs so that it's a little more affordable.
Right.
We have a background in search and rescue, and my sister and daughter, they both do like competitive agility, and my daughter teaches some of that. So between all of us, we're like all over.
No, that's cool. That's cool. It's like really cool to have different branches to offer and all that good stuff. I mean, especially it's like you might have dogs that want to work, but then they don't know what potential they have until you introduce them to like search and rescue or like something like that, and then both the dogs and owners are happy just because the dog isn't like always begging for a job or like doing other things for a job. So that's cool. Actually,
Yeah.
I actually have a client with a dog that's interested with search and rescue up here, but I don't know if there's any associations or any teams out here that's training. So maybe you can help me out with that.
Yeah, it's a county by county, so they just want to search the county they're in or the adjacent counties to them. I do have a friend that moved to California in a group, but she's more Northern California, I think.
How far north?
I am not sure. I can't remember where, but I don't know my geography in California very well. But
That's okay.
I'm trying to think of the name of the city, and it's just not coming to me.
You can always give me that info out later
Yeah,
on or when you find
exactly.
out.
I can
So
find out. Yeah.
yeah, but no worries, no worries. But yeah, I mean, as the title states, some of you guys are probably gonna ask about urban agility, and that's gonna be the topic for today. And I think it was a good topic just to bring up, just because it can be a good way to spice up your walks. Could be add more structure to your walks. And Trina happened to be brought up that topic. I was like, okay, we can definitely do that. So Trina, why don't you tell us what urban agility is for those that don't know?
Well, I've called it many names throughout the years. I started by calling it basically working walks, but work doesn't sound like much fun now, does it? So
Hmm.
I, I've called it like backyard agility, where I'll just find junk in my backyard and make, stuff for the obstacles for the dogs. And then I took a course to become like an instructor for doggy parkour, basically. And I never did follow through on that, but I just thought it was really good stuff just to get, when you're out on a walk, when you are just walking your dog, the dog's really overstimulated by the environment, and they are getting all their feedback and their fun from the environment. And I want it to be more of a partnership with me. And so I like to do things that are more of a teamwork exercises. And so that's what I like to do, the urban agility. And so when I'm out on a walk or in a new area or an old area, I just kind of look around and see what's around me that I can play around with the dog on. And pretty common things are just things you can get on, have them get on like a rock or a stump, or maybe just go over a big log, or crawl under a bench, or, steps. I do a lot of stuff on steps. I'll do some fitness type stuff on steps, where they have their front feet elevated and do like sit, stand exercises. And I just try to find anything that looks fun I can engage with. And just so it's more of a team partnership and they're getting more of their stimulation from me and that, rather than all the stuff going on around us.
Sure. I mean, it also just gives them focus too, just like, just kind of just like improv with what you got.
Right.
Because I like to do that thing too, with like, especially with sometimes with the puppies at playgrounds, or like, I guess like some parks, with the benches, or like maybe sometimes a picnic table if no one's eating there, like sometimes, but
I know.
It's all really quick.
Yeah.
Before anyone sees.
We have a park that has this cool bench, and it's like on springs, and so it has a little bit of wobble to it when the dogs sit on it. And so that's really good for practicing their balance. But yeah, I'll get them up on the merry-go-round thing and kind of, have them get used to different movements under their feet and things like that as well. So it is solid surfaces I have them getting up on. I've even had them put like their front feet up on the swing sets and just different things. Obviously, you got to be careful, but I usually, when I'm doing some of the stuff, I'm not a big harness person for walks, but I do like to sometimes have a harness on a dog, especially a bigger dog that might jump up on high surfaces. And I like to use it so I can spot them when they're getting down and break some of the impact. So, if it's, more than a couple times their height as an adult dog, puppies, the rules are even much, much, much lower, but you can help break some of the impact using a harness with a handle on the back, or you could help them onto something so they don't like over jump it, or, spot them if they do. So it's one of the rare times that I actually like using a harness.
Right. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I just like with listening, following Jay Jack, it's the same. I just follow it where it's like harness is more for pulling, or like just free to do whatever you want kind of thing. Whereas like collar, you stick with me and all that good stuff. I mean, harness has its benefits too,
Yeah, they definitely do. I use a harness with my dog when he's doing trailing work, and yeah, you want them pulling and leading and being ahead. But yeah, I'm in line with the harnesses are for pulling or spotting in my case.
Yeah. I mean, harness is good. I mean, like for sport or drag work or like anything like that. But when it comes to walking, it's like it's not as practical versus like if it comes to like just just walking without having a peaceful walk.
Right.
But like what would you say, like, what are some like certain benefits, or like, for a dog or owner, what would you say the benefits are to just making that like the working walk, like for them? Because we kind of just touch base, but what are some things what else do you think would be beneficial?
Yeah, well, I think there's both physical and mental benefit. A lot of the exercises that I'm using and doing when we're out on our walks and incorporating the environment are behaviors that I train in the classroom, a lot of times for fitness, actual fitness exercises. And so I'll take those fitness exercises basically out and do those in the environment too, just anything they're doing, like climbing up onto something or doing like real slow controlled turns on a tight space. If they're on a narrow log and they're doing a bend in their body to turn, that's a nice stretch. And then just the getting up and down, build their muscles. It helps their coordination. And one of the reasons I really got into do it was building their confidence. We use it a lot with super shy dogs. You got to go really slow. You start with, getting 2 feet on something, like their front feet on, and maybe, that's usually the first thing I do because it's kind of the easiest thing to talk them into. But I find that some of those shy dogs, when they do meet that challenge, they get up onto something or they crawl under something. They're so proud of themselves, just like we are when we achieve something. So, and then I have lots of things at the office that have, the rocker boards or different, like discs and stuff that have some give to them. And so even just getting them to walk on different surfaces like that. One of the things I use a lot is we have this playground and they have the bleachers, they're metal bleachers, and we walk up and down the bleachers. So they're, practicing, like being aware of where they're stepping. They have to be careful. So that's one of the other benefits is body awareness. And then the metal bleachers, it's like a weird surface for them. And so it can be a little scary. And so I work on, becoming confident in that. Some dogs, you only do the little bottom rail, but some of the dogs you're doing zigzags up and down them. So, you want to be careful, not force the dog into anything and scare them, but it can really be good confidence builder.
Sure. Also too, I think when clients go for walks, it's kind of just like everyday thing where they just want to work on how far they get with the dog and just like more physical aspect, and whereas the dog is just seeking something out, because they're always looking for like birds, cats, other dogs to bark at if that's their only job at that moment. And it's just like the owners are not really engaged with the dog's not engaged with the owner, vice versa. So I feel like just having if you have a pack of dogs, it's kind of like for me to walk 5 dogs and do all that probably is way more difficult versus like someone with like 1 dog.
Yeah. Well, you would have to get the other 4 dogs really good on their downstays. Well, all 5, then you can rotate.
That's true too. I didn't think of it like that. I mean they got stays, but it's just like I would have to be just like.
Yeah. I do a little of that, maybe not with 5 dogs, but 2 or 3, I'll do some, place, like you 2 place and I work this one and I'll rotate, but obviously not so much if we're out in a public place. I'm not gonna, leave them unsecure. But
yeah, it's like you want to flex and show off, but you don't want to flex and show off, and then accidentally like all the dogs get loose. You're like, oops.
Chipmunk.
Like chipmunk cat or something. I was just like,
it goes running by and they all go.
And then people are just like watching you, and you're just like, usually that's a lot better. That works out a lot better. The cat we never practice around.
Right.
Or that one occasion that someone walks their cat on a leash and you're just like, oh crap, why now?
We have rabbits that keep coming through like one of the training areas that we work in. And it's like, I'm working like a husky. I'm like, really now?
Seriously, it's just
good practice.
All the time. Yeah.
That brings up another good point too, is that it's a good way to kind of redirect the dog and also get them re-engaged with you. Most owners just are kind of boring on the walks. This makes it a lot more fun and exciting. And like I said, it's teamwork.
Sure. I did agility with my Malinois and it was fun. And we were doing it for like a year and a half or like a year straight until like I got too busy. But it was just like getting your dog to do things while they're in like a stimulated way or just running, and it was just a good bonding experience. And then I had to get back into it just because it was good for my dog, since I live with 5 dogs and my Malinois definitely needs a one-on-one time. But it's just one of those things where it's like everyone's at home, either like at work, and then they're disconnected from the dogs, and they get back, they're just on their phones, or they want to just eat, watch TV, and then go to sleep. It's just not enough activities for between the owner and the dog, because usually just like the only interaction is either walking, feeding, maybe play, like for 5 minutes, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So I feel.
And that's a good point too. It is a time saver to do the urban agility on your walks, because your dog is going to be mentally and physically tired when it gets home. A lot of your walks, they come home I hear all the time that they get home from a walk and the dogs get the zoomies. It's because it's up during that walk, unless they take them to a dog park, which that's a whole nother topic. They come home and they're like, okay, let me be free, let me stretch my legs, and they're mentally, nothing, and physically they're not at all tired either. And so you do the urban agility, they come home more physically, mentally tired in like 15-20 minutes than a half hour walk. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, the thing is, like the dog can be physically exercised, but then mentally still like, still raring to go, or like still like full of energy inside the mental energy. And you go for a walk and then they complain, oh, we walk like twice a day or 3 times a day, and he's still crazy. It's just like one of those simple solutions that you can provide, just because it's like everyone thinks like after a walk your dog should be fine, or after like 5 miles your dog should be tired, where it's like, well, really depends on the dog. If you got like a shepherd, like a Belgian Malinois, if you got like a border collie, if you have like something that's meant to do more than just walk, then you definitely gotta provide more in that sense. So
yes.
And a lot of people just don't know until like a trainer tells them straightforward, like your dog's not like a basset hound that goes for like a 20-minute walk and then comes back home and is fine.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of this stuff, you can do in your home. Like today, there's no way I could take dogs out and work because we are not geared for this hotness. It's like 100 degrees here. And, that's like.
It's not practical. It's too.
Yeah. And so,
yeah.
So I have like these blocks and boxes, like really durable boxes that I put some yoga mat on, and I'll have the dogs, do some of their little exercises in my house, or a cone. You can have them going, around the cone. Like you could do who met Duke Ferguson. He does his lazy dog training series. You could do your lazy dog training and have a cone and teach them to go around the cone, or do the sit down stand exercises with their feet elevated, or planking, and do that right in your home. If you're, it's a crummy day, like here in Washington, hot is not normally a problem. The rain is. And so it's stuff you could even do in a small space inside or in your backyard too. So if you can't get out.
Yeah, I mean, that's another good point, because a lot of people just like they want to do all these outdoor activities, and it's like when they're hot, when it's raining or snowing, they're just like, what do we do? Our dog's going crazy. So that sounds like another good thing to just add to it. It's like, aside from enrichment, like Kongs and like all that, or hiding food, now it's like that can be added to it as a part of the itinerary for home. So it's let's see. So like I know we talked about like rocks and benches, like for like utilizing for like certain obstacles. What else would you be if you were going out to a park, if you were going like out public, like what other things can you think you would use for like the kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have an eye, like I get out places. I found this one really cool bike rack that was like zigzag up and down. And we did like weaving through it and like just going under it, which it wasn't really high. But I'll find different things that they can crawl under. And some things like benches are obvious ones, but like those bleachers, I could do that. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else. Some of the places I've gone to, there's this really cool little park at the end of a shopping area up our way. And it has a bunch of like logs cut, and they're different levels, like steps made into steps. I'll go play around on those. And steps themselves can be a whole source of entertainment, really. You can, like I said, put their back side higher or their front side higher and do sit stand type exercises, or even having them go up and turn and come down and turn and up and kind of doing, up and down the steps. Also, sidestepping. I'll use like the curbs, or even a sidewalk where it's elevated, have them put their front feet up and sidestep that both directions with me. It's really good for working the inside and the abductor and adductor muscles for them, which aren't things that you think about working and not in their normal plane of motion. So that's a good one. And you can do that if you get them to do it with their hind feet up or their front feet, or it can even be on a level surface and get them to sidestep with you as well. I have them go around everything: fire hydrants, light poles. I find lots of things that we can weave through, either do healing weaves through, or getting them to do like figure eights around them independently. Like the things that kind of stop the cars from going onto paths are great for doing leash work, weaving, inside outside turns and stuff like that. There's a trailhead down our way, and they have like a wooden rail across it, so I'll have the dogs crawl under that and go over that. And then there's like 8x8 posts, which I'll have the dogs put their front feet on, and then I'll even have them put the front feet on the rails and do the side stepping a little bit with me. If the dog's at that level, that's a little harder. Small dogs can get up on there, but the big dogs have a harder time. It's a little small for that. But I've seen border collies get up like on fire hydrants and things like that and balance.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen everyone like use, like I saw my friend's dog. They put him on place on a fire hydrant, or though, I mean, you say place and they'll just be like where, and then just be like points, like okay, go. I mean, that's cool. I haven't done it with any of my dogs yet.
Mine aren't that coordinated. I have a Dutch Shepherd that could probably do it, but my German Shepherd, he's just a big clod.
Yeah, I mean, I met your German Shepherd. I remember Glacier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remembered I met him. I mean, he was just one big wad of energy at conference. I think Colorado. Yeah, I was in Colorado. When I saw him. So I mean, he was fun. He looks fun to work with. So
he is fun to work with, but he'll just bowl people down. Like I'll try to do cavalettis with him, or things going around cones, but if they're lightweight, he just plows through them.
He's a tank, It's like trying to put a bull in a china shop kind of thing.
He came to me with the name Dozer, so.
Dozer.
Yeah.
You get him as a puppy, or you get him as an adult?
He was about 11 months. He came in for a board and train program. A guy had bought him for his mom, who was like in her 70s. And we did some training, and she's just like, he's just too much dog. And they begged me to take him, in which I said, no way. But I ended up taking him and training him for search and rescue. Which
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like I was just gonna have him as a working dog and have him placed somewhere else, or was it like after you worked him and then you're like, okay, I guess I'll keep you after that?
I agreed to take him on a 2-week trial, and I'm like, he's an awesome working dog. That's what they're like. I was doing search and rescue, and I wanted to get a dog eventually, but I was kind of having fun doing some of the other stuff, but they knew that. They're like, well, what about that search and rescue thing? And I'm like, fine, I'll try it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, oh, he's amazing.
You're just like, damn it, I didn't want this dog, but I guess I'm getting this dog.
I mean, you could all my dogs.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, at least you got a good working dog for free, I guess, versus like having had to go spend some money for it.
And he's healthy. He's a 3/4 Shepherd, 1/4 Lab, and I did all the DNA testing and stuff, and all his health stuff came back clear, and
Really?
Yeah.
He's a lab? He's a little bit of a lab,
yeah.
I would never have thought that. That's insane.
Yeah, he was supposed to be purebred shepherd, but they bought him off of Craigslist, so you know how that goes.
Ah, that'll do
A
it.
whole nother topic we could go
Oh,
down.
whole nother topic with Craigslist. I mean, it's just the things people find on Craigslist is crazy. It's just one of those things. If we have some time, Usually all my Facebook lives go like for an hour or so. So I'm like, let's see how long let's see how long urban agility can talk about. And maybe we can go down maybe like Craigslist, just because it's like it's so common these days. It's just like when I hear certain things about clients' dogs, the way they tell me about them, I'm like, did you get this dog from Craigslist or is this like legit breeder? And most of the time it's Craigslist. So
Yeah. Or a lot of them go and they feel, it's a puppy mill and they take them anyway because they feel so sorry for them. They feel like they're saving them. And yeah.
yeah, it ends up kind of supporting them, but then they thought they could save one puppy when there's like
You
hundreds
know,
more.
right. That just, paid for them to do 100 more. Right. Yeah. So that's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but the puppy mill thing, Craig Craig's is a little bit better, but like we'll go back to the top. We'll go back to the urban and then we can definitely talk about that just because it feels like it needs to be talked about for the most part. Um so I guess Trina, so let's say I'm a new owner with a dog and then or a puppy. Oh, I hit the microphone by accident. And I start like if I came to you guys and we started to kind of introduce it or we started to like have the idea. What's like the easiest things for them like to start? Like, I know you mentioned like putting the 2 feet up and like maybe just start with like cardboard box or maybe like something pretty easy. Like what would you just suggest if someone wanted to just experiment with it or something like that? And maybe how would they do it? Maybe lowering with food or like
Mm-hmm.
what would you suggest?
Yeah, I do a lot of luring with food and um, or even dropping the food on it and letting them kind of explore and work through it themselves. You really just don't want to force them. Sometimes I'll work on this type of thing in class and people will start like pulling them over to the obstacle with the leash or trying to pick their foot up and put it on them or pick the dog up and put it on there. And I don't want to do that. I want the dog to work through it themselves. When you force them into it, you diminish the trust. And one of the reasons that I like doing this type of exercise, don't even start barking. Somebody just drove by, heard the car, and his ears perked up. I'm like, don't go again.
It's like don't do it.
So I like to do this type of stuff to build confidence and build the trust between the owner and the dog, right? It's about the relationship building. And so when we force them, that's going to diminish that trust level. So I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest don't do, I guess, right? Don't push, don't force, and don't pull. And I
Mm.
identify each of those types of force because people don't think about all those things as being force, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of luring and treat tossing type stuff or dropping the treat on the obstacle and see what I can get them to kind of offer. And as they get more comfortable, I might use, a little bit of leash pressure as guidance, not as force, if that makes sense. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they just don't understand what you want. Sometimes you tap on things,
Yeah. Sometimes too, it's like I think because I've seen a couple of Nelson seminars, maybe at IACP conferences, where it's like if your dog's not sure on how to climb it on, then I think Nelson was like saying physically get up there and show them that
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. So it's just like that second reassurance versus just always putting pressure on the thing. I mean, I'll do it with cars all the time where it's like they literally tell me their dog won't go into the car, and then I'm just gonna hop into the car like I was a dog and go up I go, and then the dogs are jumping in. They're like, "That's all it took." I'm like, "Yeah, sometimes, pretty much."
Yeah. Or even trying to make a game out of it,
Mm-hmm.
So, and just showing them. So, um, Yeah, lots of luring. I mean, getting their front feet on is one of the easiest things, and then getting them to put all 4 feet on stuff. So what I call place command, and then generalizing the place command to things. And then I'll kind of lure them forward on an obstacle, not a high obstacle, a low obstacle, like a stair step or something that level. And I'll lure them forward and try to get their back feet on it instead of their front feet. And another thing I'll do, and then like I said, I'll try to get them to keep either their front feet or back feet on an obstacle and have them do like sit down and stand exercises while they keep those feet in position. So those are good basics. Teaching them to back up is really helpful. Teaching them to kind of go out away from you and around an obstacle in both directions. Is when I use a lot. And then just, down and getting them to start crawling. And then you can take the crawling and work going under things.
Right.
Yeah, you could do a lot of stuff just with those few things. Jumping, right? That's another one. Didn't even talk about that. But there's all sorts of things they can climb over or jump over depending on the height. Like those street barriers.
Yeah, I mean, there's like Northern California just has a lot of trees, and people just chop trees down and all the tree stumps. And so I was like, when you said that, I love doing that with the dogs, where they're just climbing on the tree stumps and just make a little ladder, just go down, or work on like stay on there with distractions. So I definitely like those. So with the, that around, like go around the cone, go around the pole or something, like that command, like how do you usually start with that? Because I'm trying to maybe teach that with my Mal, but I'm curious on how you teach it at first.
I'll have to send you. We did a backyard agility like challenge on our Facebook group. I don't know, a year and a half ago, when people were stuck at home and bored with their dogs. And I think we did one on around, but and there's different ways to train it, and I do it differently than my daughter. But I like to walk up to the cone. Basically, I'll walk up to the cone and I'll have the cone like just in front of my right foot, and then I'll have my dog on my left side of my body, and then I'll lure them around the cone to the right. And then if I want them to go left, I do it the opposite way. So I walk right up to the cone, put my left foot right in front of the cone and the dog on the right side of my body, and lure them to the left. And so then I use the side of my body to basically communicate the direction that I want them to go around it. So if I put them on the left, they go to the right, and right, they go to the left, basically. But I walk right up to it, and then kind of lure them around, and then toss the treat past me so they get more movement in it. And then once they're kind of doing that, I'll take a step back. And then instead of tossing the treat all the way past me, I'll start tossing it between my body and the cone to get more of a circle. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, kind of, it's simple, and then I'm just like, the foot thing I'll have to coordinate, just because I'm like, left foot, lure dog to the right, right foot, lure dog to the left, and then it's like, okay.
It's just the way I found it easy to communicate with the dog the direction, because I was struggling with that at one point myself, and I found that, and I played with it, and it works a lot better. Just like the better you can communicate to the dog and they know what you want, the better success you'll have. So, yeah. And then once, you've lured it a bunch of times, I use that same hand movement, like, right, that I would do the luring around. And then the direction I want to go. So not only is the position of the dog to my body communicating the direction, also the direction of my hand, right, movement is telling them the direction. And then that turns into the hand signal for the direction and the around. And then I start trying to build in distance so that I can send them out away from me around. Once idea, just creep back an inch or two at a time,
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. So, yeah, I mean, I sound. I mean, like, is there anything else you wanted to add about the urban agility? Because I mean, we could definitely talk about Craigslist. Like, we still
Yeah.
got some time, so.
Yeah, well, I just say that with the around exercise, that well, once they know both directions, it really easily can transition into like figure eights around two items. Um, and you can really tire them out that way. You can actually even build in some cardio type exercise into it with that. So
Yeah, even just like working on weaves, like you can send your dog onto the weaves and not always be like that close to them and see how well they do, generalizing. So that's always good.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I can't think of anything. I mean, just if you think about your walks and with that mindset of looking for things, you'll be amazed what you start seeing. I drive by a park and I'm like, ooh, look at that. I mean, instantly you just find really cool stuff all over the place once you open your mind up and start thinking about it in that way.
Sure, sure. Is all right, cool. So, all right, so let's see. Yeah, I mean Craigslist, like, where to start? I don't know where to start. It's just like it's always just like, oh, cute dog picture, and then just get the info, pay, and then just think the purebred puppy, or like like dog off for sale, $50. I don't know. It's just I don't know where to. It's like just thinking like you get a Craigslist dog, you're like, oh gosh. Now I'm just like, oh,
we have a book that I wrote that we give to our customers, and early development and research I'm really big on. And
mm-hmm,
even though most of our people that we work with already have a dog and have gone through the process of choosing a dog, right? And that I put that in the book because um, people get another dog down the road and I want to help educate. People don't even realize, they have no idea, and they take people at their word, and they don't even know what the red flags are, or if they do, they ignore them. And so I think just educating people on the importance of supporting, good breeders, and what is a good breeder, right? What are the red flags? What should people be looking for? That's probably what we should talk about. Like, how do
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like they just see the dog and it's cute, and then they just pick it up, and then you don't really know the background, or don't really know like if this is like an accident breed, or if it was like like the farm, like two farm dogs, like one farm dog came into the other property and then had puppies,
right,
So you kind of just don't know what you're getting, because it's just
right,
like you get the description of, hey, I have 8 puppies here, for sale. Come to this address to purchase one or something, and then that's it. At least that's how I feel. Like, I haven't really looked up at Craigslist dogs. I mean, I could right now, but
we just get a lot of people in who have gotten dogs from Craigslist. um I don't really look either. I never have to
um,
look for dogs because people bring them to me and beg me to take them.
right. I mean, just like it really. I mean, you really do have to. I mean, we could talk about like just where you choose your dogs and all that good stuff, because I don't think I really had that topic um, going on. But it really is important on where you get your dogs, because if you just get it from somewhere you don't know the background, or just not do your research, like all of a sudden, like you want a German Shepherd, and then you get like you want a working line, but then you get a German Shepherd that's not bred for working line, and then, or you do the opposite. You want a pet dog Shepherd, and then you buy like an accidental working line Shepherd, kind of like Glacier, and then you kind of just like, oops.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think people realize that there's such a difference between, the show lines and the working lines. Um, because, a lot of times people are like, I got this breed because I had one before and this is nothing like that one. And, you find out they got it from some farm in Eastern Washington where they breed field Goldens instead of your,
Yeah.
I love everybody, type Goldens. So, just even recognizing that just because it's the same breed doesn't mean it's going to have the same type of temperament. It depends what they're bred for. Like we have a lab breeder up in it's south of here that one of our search and rescue dogs came from, and I love what she does in her breeding program. And that's the thing, she has a breeding program with goals, so that is a good sign from the start, right? And her with them is she actually blends more your show lines and your working line labs to have a more balanced hunting lab, and they're really, really nice labs. Temperament is really important to her, and so she's selecting for temperament as well as health. Obviously, she still does the hip x-rays and the elbow x-rays and the eye exams with puppies as well, the genetic testing and all that. But she's really focused on the temperament of these dogs and breeding puppies with the temperament to achieve that, but still be livable. Able to live with them. So, yeah, if you can ask a breeder what their goals are and they have some, that's really a good place to start.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like other factors. I mean, like puppy culture is a big thing, just to start from like early socialization, early exposure, versus like when people on Craigslist they put like oh yeah, come get your puppy at like 5 weeks or like younger than supposed to leave the mom or something like that. Like I just looked something up and it was like mini Aussie puppies, and then it was just like are you looking for a new best friend? Whoever said you can't buy happiness, never own a mini Aussie, kind of thing. And it's just like these dogs are highly intelligent and loyal without being neurotic, and it's a show dog, and won multiple championships of obedience. Like it kind of just like cool, but kind of want to maybe see a little bit more details to it, like what you guys do with the puppies, I guess. I mean there's just so much to it, like just to go and find.
What's the screening process for the owners? Do they screen the people that they're selling the puppies to? Is there any sort of contract guarantees, any of that kind of thing? Like, a good breeder's they're going to have contracts like spay and neuter contracts for non-show quality dogs, puppies, So yeah. That's something else I look for. But also, again, looking for the ones that do the health testing.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not as big on like the registries and stuff, like it, depending on what your purpose is, but knowing that they have clear, hips and elbows and other genetic diseases for the specific breed that you're looking at that are common. Good breeders are going to be doing all that stuff, using all the resources available to them to do the best breeding that they can to improve the breed.
Yeah, sure. I mean, even like sometimes just getting videos of how you own the environment, of how you raise your dogs, or like what do you have available, because it's like if you could have like a ranch with like all these different animals, get them used to seeing those things. You could have a big puppy room that has like all these like kiddie pool with the water bottles in there, or just like things hanging, or like the umbrella kind of thing. Like good to just get them used to those from young, and then this way by the time they get older they're not freaked out about it, especially when it's like you got like fear periods, or like even like the sensitive pups, so what you are going to get within a couple of litters, you're always going to get the puppies in the corner, or like was that Glacier?
Not playtime.
Oh, was that Glacier that was doing that?
Yeah. Yes, I've got a couple puppies here for training. and he's helping me train.
Oh, he's helping you babysit too, probably.
Yeah, it's a pushy puppy, so he was telling her to get off him.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Are you? Oh, since the conference is at San Diego, are you gonna bring him again, or are you?
No, we're gonna fly. We were going to, but we decided it's just more cost effective to fly down. I'm kind of bummed.
Makes sense. I mean, he's a big dog, so it's just like from Washington to San Diego is a long drive. So
yeah, it is, and when we made the plan too, we didn't know, like, things have been just so weird up in the air. You just don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next lately. So, yeah, one of our big concerns was the heat. Driving down and then being down there where because it's in September, so it's still so hot.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, we dunk that giant dog into the beach or something like that, So it's pretty close to the beach. It's pretty close to the beach from it is. I'm actually gonna bring my shepherd for a conference just because it's their first time, so
yeah,
it'll be fun.
We would totally if we lived closer.
Yeah, I mean, for me, at least it's in the same state, even though it's like an 8-hour drive for me. It's fine, it'll probably be
It'd become fun to come defend his paper plate relays title, but he's not in as good a shape as he was back then. He's also 2 years older.
My shepherd, like, she's fast, but she's not that fast when it comes to paper plate recall. Even the Chihuahua, like, I feel like the Chihuahua will go for the other guy's plate instead of his. I'm like, oh my god.
Glacier was just consistent, and he was like not bothered by the stuff going on around us. I mean, that was really what made the difference at the end. That other little dog we were racing with just fell apart with the got stage fright. Felt bad for him.
I know. I mean, it's like I could practice. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm bringing a shepherd and a Chihuahua, so it's all good. It's time.
Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, that's fun. Although, if I win, I win, and like I get bragging rights. So.
Right. I know they said Shepherd had never even made it into the finals before, so it was pretty cool.
Right. So that's, I mean, kudos. Guys, what are we all doing? They're all like, I separated a 10-month-old with some pitties, and like I separated my shepherd because she's a control freak, and now I'm hearing like thump like in the hall, and it's like a 2-story house. Chihuahua.
How many dogs do you have?
We've got, my roommate has 2, and I've got 3, and then we have the one that's boarding, and now they're just making a whole fiasco, like out here right now. So that's fine. That's fine. They just had some after dinner zoomies. So.
Oh yeah. I have 4 of my own, but one's a Great Pyrenees, and she lives outside with the goat. Which I feel kind of bad for them right now because it's so warm, but they seem to be doing okay. And then I've got, I got a Dutch Shepherd, obviously Glacier, and then we got this little Cocker Spaniel mix that's like 15. He just turned 15.
Okay.
I've got a little miniature Schnauzer puppy for training, and I don't know what the other one is. It's from the NOAA, which is a rescue place up here. And I don't know, the face is starting to look a little Jack Russell terrorish, but it's much bigger than that. It's 4 months and already bigger than a Jack Russell. But ears and muzzle kind of have that look. So I don't know. I'm hoping the owner will do a DNA test.
I just had a client who had a Pyrenees Border Collie mix, and it turned out like DNA test is like a big percentile Pyrenees, big percentile big percentile American Staffordshire and 5% like Border Collie. I was like, what? That's quite the mix. So,
Right. Well,
but
skews and stuff, they're guessing, or have a little bit of information.
yeah, yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, my Chihuahua is like a Chihuahua, Pekingese, Pomeranian mix. So it's like I call them T Pumpkinese or like Pikachu for short, just because it's like where is he? Aye, where's my Chihuahua? Chihuahua, come here. No, you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. You're fine. Come here. I'm here. Everyone's seen you already, but
Oh.
Little Pikachu.
How old is he?
This is about to be unplugged by
he's like 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
I think 3 years old. So
Okay.
yeah, he's my little Pikachu right here. Okay, you're not really enjoying this. You can go back down.
Yeah, that's
All right.
what I was gonna say about the Craigslist dogs is, sometimes it's hard to tell what breed a puppy is, and when people get these puppies, and when they grow up, they are nothing like the breed that they bought them as.
Oh yeah, they just they give you like little details, and then they take pictures, and it's like maybe like $50 for the puppy, or like $100, and then that's it, and then no papers, no vaccinations, or just like the worst case scenario Craigslist dogs. Like I know maybe like there's a couple of great dogs that people have gotten, and I ask, where'd you get the dog, and they say Craigslist, and I get surprised, but most of it's just like
Right.
lack of info, or like lack of certain things. So
Well, yeah, and Glacier's Craigslist dog, and he's been an awesome dog. It's just that he wasn't sold to an appropriate owner.
yeah,
And he was sold as a purebred.
it's just one of those things where you're just like, oh, people, or Craigslist. Gotta love Craigslist and people,
Yeah.
But we get the dog. We get the dog we end up wanting. We get the dog we need, and then sometimes we get the dog we want on the way. So it's
someday I'll choose a dog for myself. I've never actually done that.
Right. I mean, I picked a Chihuahua, but everyone else is just like hand me down. Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, can we stop? I am like almost about to wrap up, and you dogs are just making a mess over here. Hey. God, you guys embarrassing
They're
me
like
in front of
children.
I know. Well, I put them away I put them on that side for the reason, so they wouldn't do it here, and then they still made me get up and take care of them. So
mine were all snoozing soundly until they heard your voice, and then they all, stranger. Where's that noise from? Anyway, haven't been too bad. Other than the puppy.
Well, that's the fun life of having dogs. You never know what they'll do.
No, and they're very entertaining.
They're entertaining for sure. Especially it was like when they hear a voice and they're like bark, and I'm like, oh god, I didn't mean to upset the balance of the house.
Often they start playing. I'll be watching something, and before you know it, I have no idea what's going on the show because I've been watching the dogs play for however long.
Yeah. No, I tell it. It's so funny. I mean, like, especially when you get different sizes, or like when the dog's just rolling on his back, like, please play with me, or something like that. It's just the things that dogs do is just way more entertaining than TV. It's like, I watch them play more than watch TV sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, cool. So, Trina, like, if someone was in this like Washington area, like how would they, if they're interested in training with you or anything like that? How you got anything? They could. You got like a website? You got like how would they reach you, or where are you at?
Yeah, well, we have a website, and we also have a Facebook page. It's just our business name is A Canine Experience, and it's spelled, the canine is spelled. It's not the letter K and the number 9 is like spelled out. And so it's amazing. People don't know how to spell canine.
I mean, to be fair, my logo is like Canine Freedom, but it's not like CANINE. It's like KANIENE. You know, so it's like I might be that person that confuses everybody on how to spell it, but
right. Anyway, so our website is www.acanine.com, spelled out ACANINE.com. And then, like I said, we have Facebook, Google, all that stuff, but mainly we're active on Facebook. We have Instagram, but I forget to post the pictures on there a lot. There's so many social media things to keep up with, and
too many platforms, you know.
Yeah, I got a job to do.
I know, right? We're busy training dogs. We're not here to be social media experts.
Right. I know it's a little overwhelming at times.
Right. Yeah, so I think we'll wrap up, but then Trina, do you got any big plans? You got any I mean, it doesn't have to be dog related, but you got any big plans or big ideas coming up like in the future or projects?
Well, my project I've been working on now actually is I'm developing a fitness program for search and rescue dogs to help prevent injury is the main goal. And then if they do get injured, you know, to help speed up recovery. If they already have foundations to the exercises, it will definitely help them if they do get injured to get back to work faster. So that's been the big project I'm working on. It's going slow because, as you probably know, you know, us trainers have been really busy this year.
Yeah, I've been busy, but apparently not as busy as others. So I need to pick things. I gotta pick things up, but you know that won't be hard. So
yeah, well, you know, it sounds like you're staying pretty busy over there.
Oh yeah, I have some people in the Bay Area that is like booked till November, and I'm like, how do you book that far in when I'm like maybe 2 or 3 weeks booked? I'm just like, that's insane. So.
Well, I think too, because how long have you had your training business?
2, 3 years, I would say.
Right. So that's relatively short compared to whatever 95 to now is. 25 years, right?
Like anything, like 2-digit, like where I'm still like a singleton, like digit.
I mean, we're literally getting customers back starting with their new puppies because their, you know, older dogs have passed, and now we're getting those customers back with puppies. So, you know, we've got a couple generations in now of repeat customers. So that's I think a big part of it. And plus we're in, you know, I'm about 45 minutes to an hour south of Seattle. So we have, you know, Amazon and Microsoft and all these big companies where people were able to work from home. And so I think our economy, you know, stayed pretty healthy through all of this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely grinding just because like in August in 2 weeks I gotta go home for an actual vacation to visit family. So it's like definitely I won't be taking any time off in July. So
yeah.
But okay, cool. So well, Trina, thank you for taking the time to you know, talk with me, you know, talk about this because you know, big thing is just like, you know, I can just that this is going to be on YouTube where I can just share the link to clients, so then it's like they can just watch it and just get an idea from their home, you know, and just like implement this stuff. Whereas like, you know, when they ask me what could I do on my walks, I'd be like, you know, copy, paste, send. It's like do this, you know, because it could end up helping a lot of people, you know, like indirectly. So all the good resources, you know.
Maybe I should rerun that urban agility challenge, and we could take it, connect it. I don't know how this stuff works.
I mean
there's some videos with that to get people's thoughts going. But
yeah, I mean, you can probably, if you want to message me on Facebook, like the link to the Facebook group or the challenge, and then I can just put it on the YouTube or the YouTube link, and then in the live itself, so people can get in touch with that. So we'll make it work.
Yeah. Anyway, so I got some video out there on that. I just got to dig it up because it's been a year or so. But
Cool.
yeah, thanks for having me. I thought it would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's always good to just talk about different topics. So it's all good stuff. So, well, and then awesome, Trina. Well, thank you so much for talking. And anyone listening or watching, feel free. You can always talk to us privately, message us, we'd be happy to answer some questions for you. But yeah, so again, happy Sunday, and hope everyone has a good weekend. And Trina, thank you again, and hope you have a good rest of your day, and hope you survive the heat wave.
Yeah. You have a good day too, and I will see you at conference.
I'll see you at conference San Diego. So, all right, Trina, have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.